The year 2022 was a chaotic one for Canada's air travel sector, as it faced multiple challenges such as long lines, delays, staff shortages, and COVID-19 restrictions. In this section, we will explore how these challenges affected the sector and how it tried to overcome them. One of the main challenges was the surge in passenger demand after the COVID-19 restrictions were completely lifted in mid-2021. According to the Canadian Air Transport Security Authority, CATSA, passenger departures increased by 74% from June to August 2022 compared to the same period in 2021. However, the air travel sector was not prepared for this sudden increase, as it had reduced its capacity and workforce during the pandemic. As a result, many airports and airlines experienced long lines, delays, cancellations, and overbooking issues. Another challenge was the shortage of staff across the sector, especially pilots, flight attendants, and airport workers. Many employees had left the industry during the pandemic due to layoffs, retirements, or career changes. According to a report by the Canadian Council for Aviation and Aerospace, CCA, the sector lost about 40% of its workforce between 2019 and 2021. The report also estimated that the sector would need to hire about 50,000 new workers by 2025 to meet the projected demand. However, finding and training qualified workers was not easy, as the sector faced competition from other industries and had to comply with strict safety and health protocols. A third challenge was the impact of COVID-19 restrictions on international travel. Although domestic travel recovered quickly after the restrictions were lifted, international travel remained low due to border closures, quarantine requirements, testing protocols, and vaccine passports. According to Statistics Canada, international merchandise trade with Canada's key partners declined by an average of 10% in 2020 compared to 2019. This affected the air cargo business, which relies heavily on international markets. Moreover, international passenger travel was also affected by the uncertainty and complexity of travel rules across different countries. To cope with these challenges, the air travel sector implemented various measures to improve its operations and resilience. For example, the Toronto Pearson International Airport boosted its staff by more than 10,000 workers since last summer and upgraded its baggage system and digital technology to enhance the passenger experience. The Montreal Trudeau International Airport revised its flight schedules in collaboration with the airlines and completed improvement projects at its baggage handling systems and connecting passenger facilities. The Minister of Transport led an air sector recovery summit with industry partners, labor associations, and consumer rights groups in November 2022 to discuss strategies and next steps to support a strong and resilient air transportation sector. The federal government proposed strengthened air passenger rights measures that would increase compensation for delays, cancellations, overbooking, lost or damaged baggage, and tarmac delays. These measures helped the air travel sector to overcome some of the challenges it faced in 2022 and prepare for a better future. However, the sector still faces some uncertainties and risks, such as new variants of COVID-19, rising fuel prices, environmental regulations, and changing consumer preferences. Therefore, the sector will need to continue to adapt and innovate to meet the evolving needs and expectations of travelers. The air travel sector in Canada has been one of the hardest hit by the pandemic, with strict travel restrictions and lockdowns that lasted longer than in other countries. However, 2023 has brought some signs of hope and recovery for the industry, as more Canadians are vaccinated and eager to fly again. One of the main drivers of the recovery has been the surge in demand for domestic and international flights, especially to sun destinations. According to Air Canada, the country's largest airline, Its operating revenue in the first quarter of 2023 was nearly double that of the same period in 2022, when Canada still had some COVID restrictions in place. The airline also reported a load factor of almost 85% in the quarter, higher than pre-pandemic levels. Air Canada expects to increase its capacity by 23% this year, bringing its flight schedule to about 90% of 2019 levels. The airline said it expects demand to persist, supported by strong advance bookings for the remainder of the year. Transborder traffic with the EU. A key business market for Air Canada is expected to be 90% of 2019 levels this summer. Another factor that has helped the air travel sector recover from the pandemic is the lower fuel costs. Air Canada said it benefited from a 15% decrease in fuel prices compared to 2019. This has helped the airline break even in the first quarter of 2023 after posting a small operating loss of 17 million Canadian dollars. However, not everything is rosy for the air travel sector in Canada. Air Canada's Chief Commercial Officer Lucie Guillemette said that a full recovery from the industry's collapse is at least 2 years away, amid uncertainty over the trajectories of the pandemic and travel restrictions, soaring fuel prices, and Russia's war on Ukraine. She also said that business travel in Canada has lagged behind the resumption of business travel in the EU, as large corporate accounts are still on the sidelines of the travel recovery. Air Canada also faces challenges in its Asia network, where demand is expected to be depressed through next year. The airline is focusing on its strengths for the balance of this year: transborder and 6 Freedom connections from the EU to Europe. In summary, the air travel sector in Canada has shown remarkable resilience and adaptation in 2023 as it recovered from the pandemic and saw a surge in demand for domestic and international flights, especially to sun destinations. However, there are still some headwinds and uncertainties that could affect the industry's performance and profitability in the near future.